Welcome back to the Ellis Oval for another Tufts University football game. Today, the Jumbos, coming off a rough loss to the Amherst College Mammoths, face off against the Hamilton Continentals from Clinton, New York. I'm Sam Brill, joined today once again by Jared Cohen. Last week, the Jumbos fell in a heartbreaker 20-17 on a final second field goal for the NESCAC Special Teams Player of the Week, Connor Kennelly, to move to an even 500 at 3-3. This week, the Jumbos are looking to bounce back and improve to 4-3 against a 2-4 Continentals opponent. Jared, what do they need to do to get back on track?
Yes, certainly a disappointing result last week for Tufts, but with a strong performance this week, they can put that all behind them. Preventable mistakes and questionable play calling meant that the Jumbos were unable to extend their lead against a team that they likely should have beaten. If the Jumbos can clean up some of those mistakes, whether it be penalties or missed field goals, they stand a good chance.
That's right, Jared. Let's not dwell in the past, though, and instead move on to this week's opponent in the Hamilton Continentals. Their two wins come against Amherst, who sits at 1-5, but beat the Jumbos last week, and Williams, who they defeated 15-13 on the road. What did they need to do well this week to take home a victory?
Well, simply put, their run defense is going to need to be better than it has been so far this season. Hamilton ranks last in rush defense, and allowing opponents to gash them on the ground time and time again makes it hard for them to come out with a win. If they can step up on that side of the ball, we know the Jumbos aren't a guarantee to run away with this game, but it all starts on defense for Hamilton.
And with that being said, let's walk through our keys to the game here for Tufts.
All right, for the Jumbos this week, they're going to need to attack the middle of the field. Last week, the Jumbos seemed content to just pick away at the sidelines, throwing quick out after quick out, leading to an inefficient attack through the air. Amherst seems to focus on taking away the big play, but Tufts thrives over the middle of the field. They can't get away from that so quickly this week. And then we're going to need to see some varied play calling from the Jumbos. Coach Savetti's play calling, while at times dynamic, often becomes predictable and repetitive. So when the Jumbos find something that works, you know that they might go back to it over and over again several times consecutively. That doesn't really work. The offense needs to keep Hamilton on their toes. They got to mix it up, and if that happens, the offense can lift Tufts to a victory. Next, they're going to need to pound the ball on the ground. As I said, Hamilton's rush defense has not been good this year. They shouldn't overthink it, get the run started early, and run it effectively. And then lastly, and perhaps most importantly, they need to forget all about last week. It was an embarrassing loss for the program. We talked last year after the Bates game how that might be a turning point for the program, and it led to a strong end for the season. Maybe this week can be reflective of that moment for season this year.
Absolutely, Jared, and still sitting at 3-3, the Jumbos have a good opportunity to turn this season around, and while the NESCAC championship may not be in their future this year, it very well could be in the long term. Michael Berluti, the sophomore quarterback, has been an absolute star for them, and he'll be back here for years to come as we now pause for the national anthem.
We honor America with the playing of our national anthem performed today by the Tufts Pep Band.
Now 15 minutes on the clock for the start of the first quarter here at the Ellis Oval. And Jared, we talked about it a bunch, but attack the middle of the field. Last week, the Jumbo receivers struggled not just in terms of catching the football. We saw Jackson Butler had a key drop on one of the drives that could have been extended and put some points on the board for the Jumbos, but also creating some space and separation, getting down the field. Jumbos didn't really throw the long ball with much consistency, and Phil Lutz, who's a receiver who can usually pick up a ton of yards after the catch, had quite a few receptions, but not a whole lot of yards.
Yeah, as you said, Lutz, 12 receptions for 61 yards last week. That's more of a running back stat line that you would expect. They exclusively used him mostly almost out of the backfield, quick screens, quick outs, not the usual down the field talent that we've seen from him this year. Maybe that was a result of a game plan. They thought that Amherst would take away the middle of the field for them, and they did. But obviously something we're going to need to see switch this week if they're going to want to come out with a win against a very porous defense from Hamilton.
And the Continentals kick it off some Jumbo hands and out of bounds. And an early miscue is going to start this one pretty far back. It was off the hands of the Jumbos, number 81, Colin Kelter, the first-year wide receiver from, that's the Hamilton first year. C.J. Burton for the Jumbos, off his hands and out of bounds. So it's going to start the Jumbos at about the 5-yard line. We've got a tall task ahead of them in front of this Hamilton defense.
Yeah, and special teams has been an issue so far for the Jumbos this year. Missed field goals, penalties on punt returns, kick returns. We've seen that a lot.
Berludi's going to start this one from his own 5. Johnson to his left. In the shotgun formation, Berludi takes the snap. He hands off to Johnson, who's got some room on the right side. Makes one guy miss and follows his block, picks up a first down. And a good 11-yard run from Tyler Johnson gets them a little bit less backed up there.
And that's exactly what you like to see starting the game if you're the Jumbos. They've struggled to establish the run on early downs in recent weeks, especially early in the game, and they have a tendency that when that happens, they go away from the run quickly. We know that the Hamilton rush defense has not been effective so far this year, so to start off with a positive game like that is big for the momentum of the Tufts offense.
Now Cade Moore in motion for the Jumbos. Berludi takes a snap. He drops back. Quickly finds Johnson, who's got a lot of room on the left side. Johnson spins off one defender and knocks off another, goes out of bounds. Tyler Johnson coming out of the backfield, and Coach Savetti's going to him early.
Yeah, and another staple of the Tufts playbook is using those quick swing passes to the running back, Tyler Johnson, usually this year, as a form of the running game. Just like the Patriots used to do back at the game, you can use these quick passes as a substitute for running the ball, and they love to get those in early in the game and really set the tone and get some momentum going.
Tyler Johnson, not just a bright spot on the field for the Jumbos, but also a very active member of his community as he takes this one to rush through the middle for about 4 yards, and Johnson getting early touches, but the Jumbos have a player down and he's holding his knee. Seems to be in quite a bit of pain. Jumbos out to the 36-yard line with one man down.
But looking at this first drive, draw a distinction between this week and last week. We saw the Jumbos come out against Amherst and throw the ball on seemed like the first 6 downs. Didn't want to run the ball, didn't want to set the rush early. Definitely a result of game planning. Obviously, you come out here and a completely different look from the Jumbos offense.
And that's number 73, Izzy Lobin, the 270-pound senior from Evanston, Illinois. He's able to hop up and limp off the field with Tyler Johnson right behind him. Jumbos will continue this drive on their own 37. Empty backfield for the Jumbos. Richardson in motion. Berluti trying to get them to jump with a hard count. Takes a snap and drops back. Good coverage. Pass caught by Lutz. Lutz makes one miss, and he's still on his feet just about to midfield. Lutz brought down for a gain of about 10.
And always dynamic after the catch is Phil Lutz. He's such a well-rounded receiver. They get him the ball in space. They get him the ball short. They get him the ball over top. He really could do everything for this offense.
And Ian Eslicker looks banged up for the Continentals after that play. He's still trying to loosen out that leg. He's back in coverage. We'll see if Berluti tries to exploit that. Takes a snap, but it's going to be a run. Tyler Johnson with a lot of room to the left. He gets brought down, but over midfield and into Hamilton territory runs that to about the Continentals' 41 for a gain of 9.
And thus far, big holes on the defense for Hamilton as expected coming into this game, something the Jumbos are looking to exploit and having a little bit of success so far. Though in recent weeks we've seen a lot of Jumbos' offensive drives stall out once they really get past midfield. Big couple plays coming here for them to set the tone.
They're going to fake the pass to Johnson, get it quickly to Cade Moore, who picks up the first down and more. Gain of about 10 for Cade Moore. It's going to bring the Jumbos to the Continental 41. Nick Swift doing a really good job at tackle there for the Jumbos, opening up some holes and doing an even better job in pass protection.
Yeah, and a really good use of play action right there. We didn't see the Jumbos go to that look too often last week, but a quick timing route, which we know they love, out of play action is a great setup for this Jumbos offense.
Now Berluti with Johnson is right. Hands it off to Johnson, who's got some space. He runs right, brought down by a horde of Continentals.
Jacob Spafford on the stop for the Continentals.
Jake Spafford on the tackle for the Continentals.
It's a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 for Tufts.
2nd and 8 on the Continental 29 now. Jumbos go back to their 4-receiver set with Johnson in the backfield. It's Butler, Richardson, Lutz, and Cade Moore. Berluti takes the snap as Hamilton sends a couple. Johnson rushes right, trying to outrun his man, but gets taken down after a gain of about 4 near the Continental 27.
But a little variation so far in the running game for the Jumbos. We've seen them run up the middle. We've seen them throw swing passes, but most importantly, we've seen a couple outside zone runs for Tyler Johnson, something the Jumbos don't go to all that often in this offense. So definitely more variation in the play calling on the ground than we've seen in some past weeks.
Jumbos go back to a 3-receiver set. They've got a tight end in there. That's Gio Arquia. Berluti with Johnson to his right. Takes a snap, hands it off, and the Jumbos running well up the middle. Tyler Johnson tripped up, but he'll pick up that first down right out to the Continental 19-yard line. Great run from Tyler Johnson, and Coach Savetti staying conservative here on this opening drive. Berluti hurrying it up, though.
As we said pre-game, as they get the ball off quickly.
Johnson making one-man miss. He's still on his feet, and Tyler Johnson to the end zone. Touchdown on the opening drive for the Jumbos.
But exactly, I was about to say, we knew the Hamilton rush defense was suspect coming into today. We said, don't overthink it. Put the ball on the ground. Take what's given to you, and that's exactly what they did on this opening drive. Tone-setting ground and pound drive for the Jumbos coming off a disappointing week.
And the Jumbo offensive line giving Tyler Johnson a whole lot of push and opening up yards of space for him to run through. Vaughn Seelick is going to be on for the extra point, but Tyler Johnson just taking advantage of what the defense has been giving him, and Coach Savetti staying conservative pays off for Jumbo's 6 on this opening drive. Seelick now. Snap is good. Seelick's kick is up and good, and the Jumbos put 7 on the board on the opening drive. We'll see how Hamilton can come out and answer.
Yeah, last week we saw the Jumbos go up on a long rushing touchdown on their first drive. We thought that would be emblematic of the way the rest of the game would go, and that is not what happened. They were quickly responded to by Amherst, and the game kind of spiraled from there. This week, we'll see if it's any different. The Continental's offense has not been a strength so far this year, averaging only 13 points per game, but their offensive coordinator in his first year, Kevin Spencer, has a lot of experience coaching in the NFL, special teams coordinator for several teams, including the Colts and the Chargers, and worked under Bill Belichick in Cleveland in the 1990s. So there is experience, there is good coaching on this Hamilton Continentals team. It hasn't ended in a lot of offensive results so far this season, but they're not a team that the Jumbo should look to underestimate.
And now Patrick Walsh, number 98 for the Jumbos, gets set to kick this one deep to the Continentals. Tyler Johnson, 7 attempts for 56 yards, an average of 8 yards per carry and a touchdown on the opening drive. Berluti, 3 of 3, 39 yards. Now Walsh kicks this one deep. Received by Hamilton. He's still on his feet, runs right out to about his own 28-yard line.
Congelli on the return for Hamilton. Drew Guida on the stop for the Jumbos. So return of 20 yards. Hamilton will take.
And now the Continentals are going to march out onto the field for their first drive of the day. It's going to be Matt Banbury, the senior quarterback from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Leo Gerst, the starting running back. One man in motion. Banbury takes the snap. He's going to take this one himself, runs up the middle. He's still on his feet, really just plowing through some Jumbo defenders, and he picks up about 14, getting it out to the Hamilton 44-yard line. Good job by Banbury to keep those legs churning.
And I think that's something we might be seeing a lot of today. The starting running back for the Hamilton Continentals, Kamau Hopewell, is out today. He's their leading rusher on the season. Banbury's their second leading rusher, only averaging 1.5 yards per attempt, but their third leading rusher, Gerst, only has 20 attempts on the year, so they're definitely going to be looking to find some rushing production from someone. That might have to be Banbury.
And Gerst goes out wide. Banbury takes it, looks quick over the middle, and almost jumping the pass there was Lewis Timmons. Lewis Timmons leads the NESCAC in interceptions this year. He's got 3 of them. Also leads the Jumbos, and almost had another one there. Banbury put that one just a little bit behind his man. Lou Timmons almost had an easy one.
A little bit too casual of a pass right there, kind of step back and just let it go. Wasn't placed very well, and credit to Banbury, he actually has the least interceptions of any starting quarterback in the NESCAC today, so the Jumbos are able to force turnover out of him. That would be a boon for the defense.
Banbury hands it off to Gerst. Gerst runs left, but stopped right around the line of scrimmage. Gain of about 2 for Leo Gerst. Drouillard on the stop for the Jumbos. That's his 37th tackle of the year. And Matty Drouillard, the graduate from Massachusetts, has been excellent and really just a bright spot in that linebacker unit.
He really has been dynamic as he was last year coming back as a graduate student. He's been a leader on this defense, and his presence is felt on almost every defensive possession.
Continentals face an early 3rd and long, 3rd and 7 for Banbury and this unit. He takes a snap and drops back. Jumbo sends some pressure, looks out wide, but the pass is short. Intended out there for Colin Kelter.
And the Jumbos love to send pressure on 3rd down, especially 3rd and long. We've seen that a lot in recent weeks. They do it again right there, and just enough to force an askew throw from Banbury. Narrative of this game, I think, if the Jumbos can continue to force Hamilton into 3rd and longs, will the Continentals be able to convert those? Passing offense hasn't been dynamic. Missing some weapons today. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Now Tig Hoey in the game, the punter from New Canaan, Connecticut. Getting ready to put this one deep. Punt is up. Almost blocked by the Jumbos. And a short punt bounces right out of bounds at the Jumbo 25.
And now the Jumbos back on the field on offense with a chance to extend their lead. Something they were unable to do again last week against Amherst. Would be a big confidence booster for this team if they could go up by 2 scores early in this one. Only 4 minutes gone in the first quarter.
And interestingly, back behind center, it's not Michael Berluti, it's Jackson Butler. Butler takes a snap in the Wildcat, swings it out wide to Johnson to the left. Johnson makes a nice cut, but he's tripped up and brought down. Gain of about 4 for Tyler Johnson to the Continentals, to the Jumbo 29.
Yeah, we've seen that look before from the Jumbos this year. Really their only Wildcat package that we've seen with the wide receiver Jackson Butler in at quarterback. Clearly they're trying to establish the run on the ground, and they're looking for different ways to get that done, not necessarily out of a generic quarterback in the shotgun under center type formation.
And it's what they did well on that first drive, but Hamilton now stacking the box, and Coach Savetti might need to get creative. Johnson runs well through the middle, though. Nice hole opened up by.
And a flag comes in. The referee threw that from about the 50-yard line. It landed about the 35.
We'll wait to see what this flag is, but the Jumbos think this one's against the Continentals.
And it is.
The Jumbos will pick up a automatic first down on the 15-yard penalty.
It's one way to move the chains, and the Jumbos are moving yet again.
Would have faced their first third down and long. They'll add that to the end of the run, and now Berluti with Johnson to his right. Jumbos going to their 2 receiver set, 2 tight ends in there. Berluti takes a snap, hands off to Johnson. No, keeps it himself and over the middle to Jaden Richardson. Jared, we talked about it pregame, but going over the middle of the field and attacking that was one of the points of emphasis, and they do it right there.
They do, and the Jumbos, again, they were very timing-based offense, and those types of plays are ones we didn't see last week. A quick play action. As soon as he brings that ball back, it's one read throw right away. The defender doesn't have enough time to really jump in front of Jaden Richardson right there. Those types of plays are what generate momentum in this Tufts offense. So great to see them looking at that once again this week.
Now Berluti with Johnson to his right. Trying to draw Hamilton off with a hard count once again. Takes the snap. Johnson, nice block. Berluti going deep. Downfield for Richardson, but just out of his reach and a little bit of pressure in the face of Berluti. He took a shot downfield to Jaden Richardson, but they're unable to connect.
But clearly more of a willingness to test the Hamilton Continentals down the field this week than they have had against teams in past weeks. Great pass protection right there. Picked up the blitz from the Continentals, and he took a shot, slightly overthrown, but no safety back there, a one-on-one. That's the type of shot you want your quarterback to take.
Now 2nd and 10 for the Jumbos. 3 receiver set. Arkia, the tight end. Johnson runs right through the middle. Nice hole opened up. Hamilton brings him down after a gain of about 8. The Jumbos really just running that ball right through the gut.
And credit to Johnson. He's looking incredible so far today. Bouncy, springy, bouncing off tackles.
They'll go right back to it, and Tyler Johnson trying to pick up that first down.
Johnson on the carry for the Jumbos.
We'll see if he's short. Looks like he's running this one out to about the Continental 28. So they may bring out the chains to measure, but they're immediately calling it a 4th down. And at the Continental 29, we'll see if the Jumbos decide to go for it. Last week opting to punt from the 31, but it looks like they'll go for it here.
And a run package in the game. The box is absolutely loaded for the Continentals.
Berluti sends Arkia in motion. Hands off to Johnson, who's got a nice hole on the right side. Johnson picks up the first down with ease on a gain of 5.
And that's a very, very well-designed run play against a stacked box from Hamilton. A little bit of motion throws the defense off, and a huge hole for Johnson to cut up field, and no doubt that that was a first down.
5:18 left to go. The Jumbos have dominated the possession here early in the first quarter. 5-minute drive to open it up. Clock still ticking off during this one. Berluti takes a snap. Johnson to his right. He drops back. Looked over the middle for Richardson, but that one batted down at the line.
Yeah, Richardson looked open on a slant over the middle, but of course, good defense from the defensive line for the Continentals right there. Batted the ball down in Berluti's face, and it'll be 2nd down.
And happy to see Izzy Lobin back in the game for the Jumbos. He's the one that limped off earlier. Grabbed his knee, but maybe just a cramp. So Lobin back in there for Tufts. Berluti sends Jackson Butler in motion. Johnson to his right. Johnson in motion. Swings it out wide to Johnson, but 2 defenders for Hamilton right there. That's George Johnson pushing him out of bounds. George Johnson leads the Continentals in tackles with 50. He's got 5 tackles for loss and has been a bright spot for this Continentals defense.
Yeah, he's top 10 in the NESCAC in tackles this year. Certainly probably their biggest playmaker on the defensive side. Well, that play right there looked like they knew that was part of the Tufts game plan. They run that play an awful lot. Little swing pass to Tyler Johnson, and they sniffed that one out.
And now 3rd and long for the Jumbos. Cade Moore in motion. Berluti takes a snap as Hamilton sends pressure. Berluti going deep for Lutz. Lutz in the basket and a touchdown for the Jumbos on their second drive. Phil Lutz connecting with Berluti, and that's Lutz's fourth touchdown of the year. Fifth touchdown of the year, excuse me.
And that's the connection we've been looking for. Hamilton sends a massive blitz at Berluti, but he hangs in tough in the pocket. Pickup of the blitz gives him just enough time to lay that one up in a one-on-one to the corner, and Lutz makes a great over-the-shoulder catch in the back of the end zone. The best connection in the NetsCat continues to produce, and a touchdown for Phil Lutz.
That's Lutz's second reception of the day as Vaughn Steelick's on for the extra point. It's up and good, so the Jumbos lead 14-0. 4:05 left to go here in the first quarter. Lutz 2 catches, 36 yards, and a touchdown, and Michael Berluti 6 completions on 8 attempts, 76 yards and a touchdown. Jumbo's offense has been seemingly unstoppable by this Continental's defensive unit.
Yeah, they're looking a lot more like themselves this week, and it's exactly what they wanted to come out and do, establish an early double-digit lead, give them a little leeway, but of course can't take your foot off the gas pedal just yet. Hamilton has only had 1 offensive possession. Who knows what they can do against a Tufts defense that has given up a lot of yards so far this season, so they need to come out, and make a statement if they want to prove that this 14-0 lead is not a fluke.
And interesting, Jared, because the Continentals ranked 9th in the NESCAC in total yards with 376 per game. The Jumbos, the only team underneath them, so they're definitely going to have to stay disciplined as a unit to stop this Continentals offense throughout the remainder of this game. Pat Walsh on to kick this one deep. Short kick from Walsh, but a fair catch within the 20 will bring it out to the 25. And that's where Matt Banbury and the Hamilton Continentals are going to start this next drive.
Yeah, and unclear so far what the offensive game plan is for Hamilton, missing their starting running back. They take care of the ball as an offense in terms of turnovers. They're last or first in terms of the least interceptions thrown as an offense so far this season. So they're not the most dynamic offense, again, not towards the top of the league in yards or touchdowns, but we know that they have an ability to move the ball if necessary.
And 3 backs in the backfield with Banbury. Banbury takes a snap, hands it off to Gerst, who runs left. Pickup of about 2 to the Continental 26.
And I think a key for Hamilton on offense is going to be having to get ahead of the sticks on early downs. You're going to need to pick up yardage so that you're not settling into too many 3rd and longs. You're going to need some easier pickups on 2nd and short and 3rd and short if you're going to keep up with what we know is an explosive Tufts offense.
Now Banbury with Gerst in the backfield. Banbury drops back, and he's brought down. It's going to be a sack for the Jumbos, and a flag gets thrown as well. Looks like they're going to get someone for a hold. And the Continentals know it. They're already walking well back. Uteri on the sack for the Jumbos. That's his 2nd sack of the season. And it is a hold on the Continentals.
Penalty, 2nd down.
So it'll be 2nd and 18 for the Continentals after the 10-yard penalty. Oh, erase the sack for Uteri. But this Jumbo defensive unit has really been able to pressure Banbury early.
Yeah, they send a lot of pressure. That's a staple of their defense. Sometimes that leads to big chunk plays when you're able to pick up the blitz. But so far, Hamilton does not look like they've been able to contain the pressure.
Now Banbury takes the snap. He'll run it himself. Brought down by a Jumbo linebacker. It looked like it was Reiner.
And that's exactly what you're looking to force Hamilton into on a 2nd and long. You send pressure, you don't get to him in the backfield, but force him to step up, really gain nothing on the play, and now a 3rd and long, exactly the situation you're looking for if you're the Jumbo's defense.
It was Guida and Jalen Hill on the tackle, taking down Banbury, but 3rd and long for the Continentals. Banbury with Gerst to his right. In motion is Horrigan. And the Jumbos send pressure. Banbury trying to run it and take it himself. He gets brought down after a gain of about 3. Good job by the Jumbos, tripping him up.
And the Jumbos are looking very physical on defense so far. And a play like that, again, 3rd and long, it's exactly what you're looking to force the quarterback to do. If he needs to duck and run every time he drops back to pass because the defense is getting there too quickly, then you're doing your job right.
And Drew Guida and Uteri on the tackle for Tufts. Tig Hoy back to punt for the Continentals. Another short punt from him. Andre Smith telling his Jumbo players to clear out. Takes a Jumbo roll, but the Continentals will snatch it at the Jumbo 35. And that's where this Tufts offense will start their next drive. Michael Berluti looking to keep some of that momentum.
Yeah, great starting field position coming up for the Jumbos right here. Strong first 2 possessions of the game. We've seen them do it on the ground. We've seen them do it through the air on the touchdown to Lutz. And the things that weren't clicking in past weeks, things that seemed like they were just a little bit off, are looking a lot better so far this week. Still early, but a positive start for the Jumbos.
And Andre Smith, the back with Berluti. Phil Lutz in motion. They hand it off to Smith. Smith trying to run through the middle, but he's brought down by a couple of Continentals at the line.
Hamilton not fooled on that one. Defense was waiting on Johnson.
Street and Lopresti on the stop for Hamilton. It's a gain of 1. It'll be 2nd and 9 for Tufts.
Andre Smith next to Berluti, giving Johnson a bit of a rest. He's got 79 yards on 12 attempts already. Berluti takes the snap, looks quickly outside to Lutz, but that one just out of Lutz's reach. Bad pass from Berluti. He's 6 of 9 on the day. 76 yards passing. 3rd and long for the Jumbos after a little bit of poor execution here. Now with Smith next to Berluti, Jumbos have their 4-receiver set back out there. Berluti takes the snap. They drop many into coverage. Berluti trying to take it himself. He picks up the first down and some more. Well over midfield, and Michael Berluti on the nice run, all the way out to the Continental 40-yard line, weaving through that defense and taking it himself.
And a burst of speed from Berluti right there. Maybe the fastest he's looked all season, hit 1 cut and was suddenly past midfield. A huge first down pickup.
Berluti hands off to Smith. Takes it himself and fumbles. The Continentals come away with it. Berluti may have thought he was down, and the officials signaling they'll talk this one over, but looks like he fumbles, and the Continentals are going to come away with it. It's Berluti's 2nd fumble in 2 games.
And that's the risk of keeping the ball on the ground with your quarterback. They got up to the line quick and ran another designed run for Berluti, but the ball came out, and a turn of events in favor of Hamilton, who now have another chance to get on the board before the end of the first quarter.
And you have got to protect the football. One thing that really burned the Jumbos was the goal line fumble last week, and Berluti not able to protect the football on the design run there. Brings out Matt Banbury in this Continentals offense. Banbury takes it himself on the read option. He's got plenty of room, but hit hard by Cam O'Brien, who gets his teammates fired up. Banbury, a gain of about 7, but definitely feeling it after that hit from O'Brien.
Yeah, he popped back up, but he definitely felt that one. Cam O'Brien came in strong and put him on the ground. But again, we're seeing Banbury on the ground as a big part of this offense so far. Again, missing their starting running back. Maybe something we expected. Need to find production from somewhere. They haven't been able to find it through the air, and it looks like Banbury is going to have to carry a lot of the load on the ground.
That's right, Jared, and that'll take us to the end of the first quarter. Jumbos lead 14-0 here. It's going to be 2nd and 3 on the Continental 49 when we return.
At Team Impact, we pair kids who have been sidelined by serious illness and disability with college teams from across the country.
What's up, big man? You good?
It's more than a single-day meet and greet or photo opportunity. Our program places kids on a multi-year journey, becoming true members of a collegiate athletics team.
We are
Penn State.
LA.
From signing day to game day,
I can't describe it. It feels amazing.
Team impact. All in, all together.
Now Banbury and the Continentals offense back out on the field. Takes the snap. Jumbo sends some pressure. They've got one. And in the grasp, Banbury throws it. Looks like there may have been his check down out there, but the Jumbo's looking for an intentional grounding.
Yeah, exactly right. Jumbo's looking for a flag right there, but I think there was a receiver in the area. Consistent pressure, though, as we've seen so far. Getting to Banbury, he really has not been able to take a drop back without seeing a man in his face, and that is a huge win on every possession if you're the Jumbo so far.
And Banbury beginning to get beat up there, trying to do a lot on his own. Gerst behind Banbury on this 3rd and 3. They send Perez Signini in motion. Rush for Gerst through the middle. Looks like he's got enough for that first down. A gain of 4 for Leo Gerst out to the Jumbo 47.
And as I said, I think that needs to be the game plan for Hamilton. Get it to 3rd and short, put it on the ground with Gerst, and pick up the first down.
Hamilton going to the hurry-up offense. Banbury with Gerst to his left. Full receiver set. Banbury drops back, some more pressure. The outs to Kelter. Kelter reels it in.
And if the Jumbos are going to continue to get in the face of the quarterback like they have, that's going to need to be the response from Hamilton. Quick throws to the outside, get that ball out before the defense is able to bring you down.
Banbury. A deep shot, easily intercepted by the Jumbos. That's number 32, Christian Rosario, for the Jumbos on the interception. Continental's receiver getting uncompetitive with that route, and Rosario jumping it, picking it off, and rolling down. The Jumbos are going to start this one at their own 11-yard line. And after turning the ball over, Berluti's going to get another shot after the mistake from Banbury.
Yeah, he simply ran that route for the receiver, it seemed. Put a body on him, but not pass interference. Just got ahead of him right there, and that ball was inside. Receiver was on the outside, and an easy interception for the Jumbos. Ball turned right back over.
The Jumbos go back to the ground. Johnson running through the middle. Gain of 10 for Tyler Johnson. It'll be another first down. And Tyler Johnson just running right through this Continental's defense.
And as we mentioned, Banbury had the least interceptions of any quarterback in the NESCAC. Going into this year, only 1. The Jumbos have now doubled that total to 2, and a strong start on both ends for them. The defense looking considerably better than it has in past weeks.
And Berluti takes a snap, hands off to Johnson once again. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, and Johnson runs right through the middle for a gain of about 5 to their own 29-yard line. Continentals look a little banged up there.
And on the defensive end for the Jumbos, all of this is a result of the pressure they've been bringing. Middle of the pack so far in terms of sacks, only 9 on the year, 6th in the NESCAC, but hasn't looked that way so far on the defensive end. Lots and lots of pressure from the defensive line of the Jumbos. Terry and Butler, the usual suspects, bringing the heat.
And another handoff to Johnson. He rushes left, gets brought down by a pretty big hit from the Continentals. And it looks like they'll move the chains once again, so Johnson picking up another first down for this Tufts team. That brings Johnson's total, I believe, to over 100 yards. It's still the first half. Johnson 16 rushes. Berluti takes the snap once again. Looking over the middle of the field for Lutz. Lutz brought down after a gain of about 2. The Jumbo's going back to the middle of the field.
Yeah, and Johnson, as you said, over 100 yards now, 101 already in only the second quarter. So they've really followed their game plan so far, and the Hamilton run defense has been as advertised. So exactly what you're looking for if you're the Jumbos. Sometimes they've failed to really stick it to parts of the game plan that they've looked for coming in to the week. This week, definitely the opposite of that.
Johnson gets another handoff, runs left. Had one man to beat, but brought down in the middle there by number 29 for the Continentals. That's James Burke.
It's a gain of 9 and another
jumbo first down. Another great run from Tyler Johnson, really just following his blocks, lowering that shoulder and keeping those legs churning. Berluti now takes a snap, fires quickly to Lutz. Lutz lowers his shoulder but is brought down. Spafford and Ravel on the tackle.
It's a gain of 7. It'll be 2nd and 3 for the Jumbos.
2nd and 3 now for Tufts as they're over midfield into Continental territory. At the Continental 48. Berluti with Johnson to his left. Lutz in motion. Run the same play to the other side of the field, and Phil Lutz picks up a first down on a gain of about 9.
And as we said, they love to go back to what's working. Lutz catches the ball on the swing pass. They switch it to the other side of the field, and he does it again. Both positive yardage plays, and the Jumbos pick up yet another first down. They're looking efficient on offense so far, switching it up when necessary, and the old combination of Johnson and Phil Lutz doing work against the Continentals.
Now Berluti with some offensive momentum behind them. This drive started at the Jumbo 11. Berluti takes a snap, looks out for Richardson. He's got one to beat, puts a nice stiff arm on him, and keeps going, runs it down to about the Continental 24-yard line. They'll move the chains once again. The Jumbos just keep moving.
Yeah, when you have athletes at the wide receiver position, you can do things like that. The quickest little curl route you'll see gets him the ball right away and let him make a play in space. He does just that.
At a rush right for Tyler Johnson. He's brought down at about the Continental 15. Looks like he'll be just short of that first down, but Tyler Johnson really doing it all for the Jumbos on the ground.
Yeah, the offensive line is cranking out some massive rushing lanes for Johnson to burst through, and this is every coach's dream. Being able to pick up 6-7 yards on the ground on every carry is what really leads to the most productive kind of offense that you can hope for on the football field.
Now Berluti with Johnson to his left. Jumbos in the 4-receiver set once again, 2nd and 1. Johnson, a wide open hole, and he'll stroll into the end zone. Once again, the Jumbos running it down the field into the end zone, and another Jumbo touchdown. They lead 20-0 with Vaughn Seelig headed out to make it 21.
Yeah, they might be taking out some anger from last week. An early 3-possession lead, and really exactly what the Jumbos were hoping for coming into this game. They wanted to play to the level that they knew they could, and so far they've done exactly that. On the ground, through the air, Johnson having perhaps the biggest game of his career so far, and a huge 21-0 lead for Tufts.
Really showing flashes of greatness here is Tyler Johnson, the shifty running back, as Vaughn Seelig kicks that one up and through. Tyler Johnson from Fairfax Station, Virginia, the 195-pound senior, really just putting all of his talent on display, getting a lot of open running lanes from that offensive line. Don't get me wrong, but 18 attempts for 134 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's an average of 7.4. And yeah, Coach Savetti just trusting him.
Yeah, he's absolutely one of the most dynamic runners in the league. We saw it last year even when he wasn't the full-time starter, and we're seeing it a lot this year. He bounces off tackles. He's unbelievably shifty. He can cut left, cut right, seemingly bounce off anyone, and he's strong. He's not afraid to put his shoulder down. We've seen him do that several times, run over a defender. When you put all that together in an offense that is willing to play to their strengths, which they have so far, it's going to lead to big running lanes and big pickups. 2 touchdowns so far today.
And we touched on it earlier, Jared, but Tyler Johnson called one of the most genuine teammates and people that they've ever been around by his teammates. A nice article about Tyler Johnson came out on the Tufts Jumbo's website earlier this week, so go ahead and take a look at that if you haven't gotten to it yet. Continentals taking that. It's Campanella on the return for them. Brings it out to about their own 21-yard line, but article is titled "Team and Family Come First for Jumbo Back Tyler Johnson." right now really putting it all on display here at the Ellis Oval. Hamilton's going to start this one down 21 and on their own 21-yard line. Matt Banbury looking to make things happen. Their offense has been largely stagnant this game. He's 1 of 5 with an interception on the day. Gerst to his right. Hand off to Gerst. Nice hole there. He's on his feet, runs left.
Gerst on the carry for Hamilton.
A gain of about 4.
Comerford on the stop for the Jumbos.
E.J. Comerford on the stop. 2nd and 7 for the Continentals.
2nd and 7 for Hamilton.
On the gain of 3 from Gerst. Now Banbury takes the snap. Jumbo send pressure. Banbury finds it to Horrigan, his favorite receiver. He's got 28 receptions on the year for 246 yards.
And that's a well-designed play. If you're looking to get a quick pass out right there, 2 wide receivers crossing the middle of the field, little rub against the defender right there. You got a one-on-one with the wide receiver in space and a good pickup for Hamilton.
Now Banbury, 4 receiver set. Pass right for his man. They deem that a catch. Christian Rosario in coverage.
And as I said, these are the routes that they're going to have to look at going against a defense that sends so much pressure. Getting the ball out quick on a comeback route short of the sticks is the type of play you're going to need to go back to time and time again. So far, when they've looked at plays like these, they've picked up solid yards.
On the gain of 9 now, Leo Gerst in the backfield with Banbury. Jumbo stacked the box. They hand off to Gerst. Nope, Banbury's going to keep it himself. Looks like he's just short of that first down marker, but the officials are going to run it out and see. It'll be 3rd and 1.
But a good adjustment from the defense right there. First couple times Banbury took it by himself on a read option designed run play. They were unable to stop him short of the first down right there. Didn't even pick up a couple yards, so waited to adjust to the tricky read option, which they've been burned on in the past.
And despite a 3 senior offensive line unit for the Continentals, they've struggled to open up holes for both Gerst and Banbury definitely feeling the hurt of it. It will be 3rd and inches for the Continentals.
It'll be 3rd and 1 for the Continentals.
And what do you think? Is this 4-down territory if they don't pick it up?
Down 21, still in your own territory in the first half, Jared. I'm not 110% sure, but Tig Hoy has not been a bright spot punting for the Continentals, averaging only 35 yards per punt.
But jumbo formation right here. Looks like they're certainly going to run the ball.
Banbury trying to run right behind his center. He does, picks up about 3, and one of the most effective runs of the game for the Continentals on a QB sneak.
Sometimes you just got to move the chains. They did that right there. Jumbo package comes out of the game, and now ball near midfield. Work is cut out for them.
Banbury again moving on this drive. Now 3 of 7 for 23 yards. Banbury 6 attempts for 38 yards. Takes a snap. Hands it off to Gerst, who's got some space to the left. Makes one man miss, breaks it to the outside, but brought down by a couple of Jumbo defenders on the gain of 9. Good job by Gerst to keep his feet moving. And
yeah,
Christian Rosario upset there.
Now Hamilton using the threat of the Banbury run to set up the run with the running back on the ground. That is Gerst, of course. So varying their offense a little bit. They know that they have to go to certain things more than others on the ground today. The QB option is going to be a threat, and they're going to use that to their advantage.
Marcus Parara in the game for the Jumbos. As Banbury under pressures, but got a wide open Horrigan, who makes one man miss. Jack Racine chasing him down and bringing him down, keeping the Continentals out of the end zone, but Horrigan had one man to beat, put a nice stiff arm on him, and just kept moving.
And Horrigan, one of the better tight ends in the NESCAC, rare for a NESCAC team to go to a tight end as a main option on the offensive side. And right there we see what he can do. Open down the left side of the field. An accurate flick of a throw right there from Banbury and sets up 1st and goal for Hamilton.
Wouldn't be surprised if the Continentals went back to Horrigan, the 6'3", 220-pound target. Banbury drops back. He's got one to beat. Jumbo's trying to bring him down, gets hit hard at the goal line, but it looks like he's in, and Matt Banbury runs for the first touchdown of the day for the Continentals. 4-yard rushing touchdown for Matt Banbury, and they're out on the board now too.
Yeah, and it looked like he was looking for his tight end on a little corner route on that play right there. Didn't want to throw it, tucked it and ran, and that's always a threat on the goal line. Hard to stop the QB from getting in from that close. He does it and narrows the lead. Suddenly not a 3-possession game anymore.
Evan Reed in for the Continentals. He's struggled with these PATs, only 3 of 10 on the season. This one up and good for Evan Reed.
Evan Reed's extra point is good with 5:01 left to go in the second quarter.
And a big one there extends or cuts the Jumbo lead 21-7. 5:01 left in the first half. We'll see how the Jumbos can respond to that good drive by the Continentals. Set up on the 43-yard catch by Horrigan was the score from Banbury.
Yeah, really a strong drive for Hamilton. Obviously their strongest drive of the game so far. Established the run on the ground early, used the threat of the option to keep the defense on their toes, and then finally turned to the pass and hit Horrigan on the big play. Really all 3 aspects of the game clicking for Hamilton on that drive. Jumbos have frankly been unstoppable on offense so far, so Hamilton right now, they know what they need to do if they want to get back in this game. Obviously a lot of time left, but they're going to need to prove that they can stop this Jumbo offense both on the ground and through the air.
Evan Reed to kick off for Hamilton.
That's right, Jared. 161 yards for Jumbo rushers in this game. And a fair catch there. A little confused as the whistles came in late, but it was Khaled Calhoun, number 24 for the Jumbos, on the fair catch.
Will set up the Jumbos 1st and 10 on their own 25-yard line.
Berluti now with Johnson behind him. Jumbos go to their 3-receiver set with Arkia, the tight end. They hand off to Johnson, who's got a lot of room on the left, cuts it back towards the middle, but brought down by the Continentals. Right out over to the Jumbo 33-yard line.
And Johnson's vision really has been something to watch so far today. He has a vision that you really don't see often in the NESCAC, the ability to cut the ball back upfield and just find lanes that the defense is giving him. Really very special.
Definitely not afraid to take some contact. Johnson cutting it back towards the middle of the field and just running it out of bounds. Berluti takes the snap, looks quickly out to Richardson. Richardson forced out of bounds by the Continentals. That was Christian Snell forcing him out.
That's a gain of 7 and another Jumbo 1st down.
The Jumbos just continue to be unstoppable on offense. Another 1st down pickup. Berluti looking for more. Johnson to his left, and the Jumbos back in their 4-receiver set. The Jumbos wearing brown today. Continentals wearing white on the road. Berluti takes the snap. Man right in his face, but he looks deep for Jaden Richardson and just can't connect out of his reach. Good job by Berluti to get rid of that one. Had a man right in his face. That was Matt Lopresti.
Yeah, pressure came flying in immediately. Surprised Berluti was even able to get the throw off, but you know, he's a smart enough quarterback. He knew as soon as that pressure got there, he had a one-on-one matchup. He put it up, and Richardson had his man beat. That ball was a little better place. It may have been a touchdown, but good job by Berluti to get that ball out in the first place.
Now 2nd and 10. Berluti, quick pass for Richardson. Makes a move to the outside. Runs for about 8 yards, and officials mark him out of bounds at the Jumbo 47.
But well done right there. You saw in the previous play, didn't hook up with Richardson, but he had his man beat downfield. They know the threat that could be. Forces these cornerbacks to play a little bit off the line, and then you can turn to a favorite staple of the Jumbo's playbook, a little quick out, get your man in space. The corners simply can't have two things at once. They can't prevent the deep pass and come up on the line at the same time.
Now 3rd and 3 for the Jumbos. The Continentals stack the box. Send Arkia in motion. It's going to be a Johnson run right through the middle.
Looks like he might be short, and now an interesting decision from the Jumbos if they want to go for it. We've seen them go for it on 4th down already today, and we know they have confidence in their run game, certainly. So wouldn't be surprised to see another Jumbo package Tyler Johnson run on 4th and short. But looks like the punting unit is coming out. Maybe spoke too soon.
All depends on how much you trust your defense, and Coach Savetti not trusting them sends Pat Walsh and this punting unit out. Punting from their own 48-yard line.
Walsh is back to punt for the Jumbos.
Back deep is Christian Snell for the Continentals, and Walsh's punt caught, and muffed by Snell, but Snell able to recover it, went right through his hands, but he falls right on top of it.
And they catch a break right there, muffed the ball right through his hands, but managed to fall right back on top of it and keep possession for Hamilton. Almost a huge break for the Jumbos. 21-7, 2 minutes, 13 seconds left in the first half.
So Matt Banbury and this Continental offense is coming out after getting down the field for 7 on the last drive. 2:13 left to go here. 3 timeouts still for both squads. Banbury with Gers to his left. Horrigan in motion. Banbury looking deep. A lot of time. Decides to take it himself. Tripped up and hit hard by a Jumbo.
Banbury on the carry.
And Banbury is taking a beating so far today. That's the 2nd or 3rd huge hit we've seen laid out on him. Again, as he steps back to pass, the pressure is forcing him up in the pocket.
But credit where credit's due. Banbury picks up the 1st down. 2nd play of this drive, looking over the middle of the field to Horrigan. And Horrigan reels it in, picks up another 1st down for the Continentals. Jumbo's given up a lot of room here and a lot of space for these Continental skill players.
And they're moving with some pace, under 2 minutes left in the half.
3rd play of this drive, Banbury takes a shot, and it's intercepted by Lewis Timmons, his 4th of the season. It's going to give the Jumbos back the ball. With 1:28 left to go there, Lewis Timmons practically running the roof for him. And takes his 4th of the year.
That's the 2nd interception of this game for the Jumbos off of Banbury, and both on seemingly identical plays. Banbury looking to take a shot down the field on the right sideline. Run for the receiver by the Jumbos. On that play, Lewis Timmons high pointed the ball. Again, ball was placed on the inside of the receiver. Another easy interception. Doesn't look like Hamilton can find those shots down the field so far this game, and the Jumbos set up in position to maybe extend their lead before the end of the half.
Now Berluti with his 4 receiver set. Jumbos still have 3 timeouts. Looking over the middle of the field for Butler, who's brought down middle of the field by George Johnson. Clock is still running. It's Jackson Butler's first catch of the game. Berluti takes the snap once again. Looking deep down the field for Jaden Richardson, who's wide open and makes the catch. Jaden Richardson waltzing into the end zone for a Jumbo touchdown. And another deep one for Jaden Richardson. That's his 7th of the year. And Berluti on the 70-yard touchdown to Jaden Richardson gives the Jumbos another 7.
That is Richardson's 4th touchdown on the season, over 40 yards. He is probably the premier deep threat in the NESCAC, top 10 in touchdowns. Another huge play. Berluti hooking up on the long pass. First time in a couple weeks we've seen that connection, but the Jumbos looking strong on offense.
And Vaughn Seelig on for the extra point. It's up and good. The Jumbos respond to Hamilton and score 7 off that interception from Lewis Timmons, who has been stellar once again.
And you look at those two possessions right there, and you see the advantage that the Jumbos have had so far this season with their athleticism at the wide receiver position. They have several guys who they can send out there on deep routes, go routes, who simply are big enough and athletic enough to beat their men downfield. Berluti merely has to put it up for him to make a big play. Hamilton tries the same play, picked off by Timmons. Simply a difference in the level of athleticism at the receiver position between these two teams, and that has been Tufts' strength the entire season.
Michael Berluti responding to some adversity from last week. He's got 197 yards in the first half of this one. 2 touchdowns. Jumbos have also been elite on the ground. Tyler Johnson, 20 for 142 for an average of 7.1. 2 touchdowns for Tyler Johnson as well. The Jumbos scoring 4 in the first half. They lead 28-7 here as Pat Walsh kicks another one off. Caught by Hamilton. That's Joseph Campanella. He's brought down by the Jumbos.
But really can't talk enough about Jaden Richardson. He's really been a breakout player for the Jumbos this year. As I said, now 4 touchdowns over 40 yards, 5 touchdowns over 30 yards. A big play threat like that is so valuable in a league like this. He's towards the top of the NESCAC in touchdowns and yards, obviously behind his teammate Phil Lutz, but just another weapon for this Tufts offense, hopefully for years to come as well.
Jaden Richardson, the leading receiver for the Jumbos today, 5 for 115, 70 his longest on that last touchdown catch. Both Richardson and Lutz touchdowns in this one as Banbury's going to take it himself, tries to hurdle one. Looks like he jumped right into his own man and waiting for the officials to blow the whistle. 47 seconds left, and the Continentals will opt to let the clock keep running. Jeremy Zuniga on the tackle for Tufts.
So credit to Tufts for really keeping their composure on that drive. We've seen, particularly last week, but throughout the season and last year, when they're scored against, sometimes they play down, they go 3 and out, and suddenly it's a closer game than it is. But no, not on that possession. They came back and they struck quickly.
Banbury hands off to Gerst, who runs left, had a nice block, cuts it back upfield, and a first down for the Continentals.
Will McCreary on the stop for the Jumbos.
Will McCreary on the stop, and trying to see if there's going to be a timeout. There is a timeout for Coach Dave Murray in his 6th year as the Continentals head coach.
Not really sure what Hamilton is looking for here. They let the clock run down to 9 seconds, call a timeout. Not really in distance of a Hail Mary, and down 3 possessions. Interesting choice right here if they come back out and just run the ball.
1, 2.
They reset that game clock to 12 seconds, but Jared, I'm in agreement with you. Definitely a precarious timeout call there from Coach Murray. Again, not in range for a Hail Mary, just maybe picking up a couple more chunk yards to give you a chance for the end zone. Still 2 timeouts for the Continentals, but Banbury's got a lot of work to do to get to a place where he can make that Hail Mary throw. And the Continentals haven't thrown a ton of routes with a whole lot of depth. Howrigan making a lot of moves after the catch. Now Banbury drops back. He'll run it himself, but a couple of Jumbos in pursuit. Banbury gets to the sideline and 5 seconds left. He's going to be at his own 47-yard line for what may be the last play of the half. Could be 2 more, depending on how quickly they run this one.
Probably what they were looking for anyways right there. Drop back, see if there's a man open quickly, and if not, bail and pick up some yards to set up maybe a Hail Mary chance.
Now McCreary and Racine deep. Banbury runs up to the line, but has to throw it out of bounds, and that'll be the end of the first half here at the Ellis Oval. The Jumbos take a 28-7 lead here. We'll be back in about 20 minutes for the second half of this Jumbo football game. They lead once again 28-7 after the first half.
Tufts cheer.
0 lead and just continued to add to it. The one blemish was a touchdown run in by Matt Banbury, but the Jumbos lead now 28-7 after the 70-yard touchdown from Jaden Richardson in the final minute of the first half. Jared, what have the Jumbos been doing well?
Yeah, we've been treated to a very efficient Tufts offense so far today. Berluti, 14 for 18, 197 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's good for a QB rating of 206.4. Last week we saw the Jumbos offense struggle to connect efficiently. This week not so much on the ground as well. Tyler Johnson, 20 attempts for 142 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first half alone. already one of the most impressive rushing performances of his career, and he's still got another half to go. He could be going for 200 tonight. 7.1 yards per carry on the ground and 197 yards on 18 attempts through the air is a level of efficiency that you rarely see from an offense. So far, really been a treat to watch for the Jumbos.
That's right, Jared. And Tyler Johnson, one of the best running backs in the NESCAC. Coach Savetti said it himself. He's one of the best, super shifty, and making a case to be first team all NESCAC, really having an excellent performance to try to drive his name all the way up to the top of the leaderboard in terms of yards per game and yards per carry. And yeah, we said it before, the Hamilton defense is just about as advertised, and Tyler Johnson able to exploit that real well.
Yeah, really, and as you said, first team NESCAC, all NESCAC, there's an argument to be made that the Jumbo should have a first team all NESCAC participant at quarterback, running back, and wide receiver, and yet here they are at 3-3. Leading 28-7 so far today. We want to see that talent put to use going into the second half and the rest of the season.
And Pat Walsh's kick end over end taken by Campanella. Campanella's got some room. Campanella still on his feet out to the 50, and he's brought out of bounds at the Jumbo 44. Not the way that you want it to come out of the locker room. Joseph Campanella running with ease through the Jumbo defense and setting up a short field for this Hamilton offense and Matt Banbury.
Yeah, continuation of some of those special team struggles for the Jumbos. Haven't had a huge hard time covering kickoffs so far this year, but they're a long one broken off. They've struggled with penalties, poor punts, and the like. Another example of that coming into the start of the second half, but the Jumbo defense is confident that they can stop Hamilton based on what they saw in the first half.
Banbury 5 of 11 for 77 yards through the air in the first half. 2 interceptions for him. She struggled. Hands off the first one to Gerst, who runs right, gets tripped up, and is brought down. About a gain of 4 to the Jumbo 40-yard line.
Hamilton seemed to find a strategy that worked on their scoring drive in the first half, mixing up the run and the pass pretty well on that one, but they came out on the next possession, tried to go deep, and threw a second interception down the right sideline. So we'll see if they can go back to that balance they found on their scoring drive, or they're going to need to feel that they need big chunk plays to make up this deficit.
Jumbo stack in the box here against Banbury. Fake handoff to Gerst, runs a little bootleg, fires through the middle, and it's picked off by Victor Garza. The Jumbos sliding down, and another interception thrown there by Matt Banbury, his third of the day, and Victor Garza the beneficiary.
And Garza not fooled at all. Watch Banbury's eyes on this play. Play action, rolling out right. He had 3 different receivers on the left side of the field, but none of them were really open. He tried to look off the defender like he was going to go to the flat and then throw the intermediate route down the sideline, but Garza was not fooled, stepped right in front. And the third interception of the day thrown by Banbury, who again came into the game with the least interceptions thrown, only 1 in the NESCAC.
Now Berluti with Johnson to his right, and this Jumbo offense right back out on the field. Handoff to Johnson, who runs left, gets stood up but pushes a defender over, and a gain of about 4 for the Jumbos, out to the Jumbo 38.
Gain of 5, it'll be 2nd and 5 for the Jumbos.
Now Berluti with Johnson to his left. Jumbos have 4 receivers out there. Berluti taking another long shot to Jaden Richardson. Just outside the basket for Jaden Richardson, though. They can't connect on another long ball, and Berluti knows he just overthrew him. Both him and Richardson upset that they couldn't connect there.
But Richardson gaining a step and a half on his man downfield seemingly every time they look his way. They have not been afraid to test that connection out today. Resulted in a 170-yard touchdown and looking for another one. I think it's funny, a little bit of a tell for the Jumbo's offense. Gio Arquia, the Jumbo tight end, comes off the field. Kind of an obvious passing situation, and still Richardson beats his man over the top.
Now Berluti with Johnson to his right. The 4 receiver set once again. Jackson Butler in motion. He cuts across the field. Berluti looking over the middle, just out of the reach of Phil Lutz, and the Jumbos can't connect. They'll have to punt this one away after the interception by Victor Garza on the 4th and 5. Looks like Pat Walsh is going to hustle out onto the field.
Yeah, 2 unfortunate plays right there that could have been big pickups. The over-the-top play to Richardson falls incomplete, and then just through the arms of Lutz over the middle of the field. First time we'd really seen that play to Lutz where he sits in the middle of the zone and Berluti just finds him over the middle. That was a staple earlier in the season. Hadn't seen it so much, and right there, a little bit off on the throw, and they'll have to punt. So interception goes for nothing, but still a strong start to the half for the Jumbos.
The Jumbos strongly attacking the middle of the field. On the line drive punt there from Walsh. Hamilton picks it up. That's Christian Snell, who's still on his feet. He gets brought down at the Continental 35. And the Jumbo punting unit does a good job to cover that one.
With the second long return for Hamilton in 2 minutes so far this half.
And now Banbury is going to head back out onto the field for the Continentals, try to get things going. His backup, Joe Cairns, the sophomore from Rochester, New York, was the starter last year as a true freshman. Haven't seen him in this one. Last week came in for a couple of QB sneaks on short third downs.
Yeah, wouldn't be out of the question to see him if this game continues on the route it's been going.
Banbury hands it off to Gerst, who runs right. Gerst tripped up behind the line of scrimmage.
Cairns was the starter for Hamilton when the Jumbos played them last year. An overtime victory, really one of the most exciting games they played all of last year.
A good tackle there from Matty Drouillard as Gerst able to gain 1. Now Banbury with Gerst behind him. Banbury takes it himself. Forced out of bounds.
Banbury on the carry for Hamilton.
That's Jonathan O'Neill forcing him out of bounds. It'll be 3rd and about 2 for the Continentals offense. They trail by 21 here, so you wonder if this is 4th down territory. Still quite a bit of time left on the clock.
Yeah, we asked that in the first half, and they came down and they scored, and it didn't seem so much of a question anymore. Right now, 3 possessions, still a lot of time left. See what they can do on 3rd down first.
3rd and 3 for Banbury and the Continentals. Runs right, some pressure, off-balance throw, but just out of the reach of his man.
Yeah, and he had him wide open on the left side of the field. It was
Campanella.
Joseph Campanella, and just a difficult throw off platform, couldn't hit him. And now the punt unit on the field, and a quick 3 and out for Hamilton.
And Hoy on to punt for the Continentals. Tig Hoy, 2 punts today for 64 yards. That's an average of 32 and the longest of 35. Hoy has struggled punting the ball. Andre Smith back deep for the Jumbos. Pretty deep considering Hoy hasn't had quite a lot of leg here. Hoy punts. Andre Smith takes it. And he's tripped up. Takes a couple steps backwards, but good tackle there from the Continentals.
Yeah, best punt of the day for Hoy. Decent starting field position for the Jumbos on their first offensive possession of the half. We saw some potential for more dynamic down the field plays, and they just were a little bit off. This time they'll want to come out, maybe put the ball back on the ground and pick up some yards, but we know that they are itching to go downfield.
Now Berluti and the Jumbos back out with their offense. Johnson runs up the middle, but stopped by the Continentals.
Held on the stop for Hamilton. The gain of 1, it'll be 2nd and 9 for the Jumbos.
Two receiver set for the Jumbos. Arkia, the tight end, in there with Johnson in the backfield, joining Berluti. Berluti takes the snap. Looks for Richardson, who's got a first down and some more. He steps out of bounds, though. Nice first down pickup to Jaden Richardson.
And really a great throw and a great route from Berluti and Richardson. Safety was shaded over to that side of the field, really looking to take away that big play threat of Richardson, but he got him the ball on the sideline just before that safety got over there and in front of the corner. Easy first down pickup for the Jumbos.
And the Jumbos use the same personnel here. Berluti with Johnson to his right, Arkia the tight end. Quick out for Richardson, little bit of a more shallow route, and Richardson out of bounds.
I think the Jumbos like this look against the defense on the field for Hamilton.
They keep the personnel once again, and Berluti with Johnson to his right. Takes the snap, they'll hand it off. Nope, he'll keep it himself over the middle of the field. It's Phil Lutz, who's got some room, just one man to beat, and brought down. Long run from Phil Lutz brings the Jumbos into Continental territory.
Yeah, and the Jumbos really like that look. The corners, flag on the play. We'll see if this is coming back. Looks like it might be. But regardless, the Jumbos really like that look with the corners pressed up on the line. Options to both the left and right in Richardson and Lutz. Found Lutz over the middle, but looks like a hold or...
Coach Savetti really disappointed with the call. Still waiting for it here. It's going to be on the Jumbos.
It might have been an ineligible man downfield for the Jumbos, so unfortunate penalty to bring that one back. Just when the Jumbos looked like they were cooking, but know that they're not afraid to go back to that yet again.
2nd and 9, same personnel on the field for Tufts. Berluti takes the snap, looks out for Phil Lutz, who's got a lot of room. He picks it up, still on his feet and still in bounds, makes another man miss, and the shifty Phil Lutz runs it over midfield once again. Not for quite as many yards as the previous play, but out to the Continental 41-yard line, and Phil Lutz really showing his talent.
Yeah, that's a great route from Lutz, kind of feigned like he was going downfield, came back on the outside. Berluti with a strong throw, not easy to put the ball on the numbers like that on the outside of the field. He gets it to him, and then Lutz, as always, dynamic with the ball in his hands. What a juke move right there, and he gained even more than the first down.
Handoff. Nope, he'll take it himself and back over the middle of the field to Phil Lutz on the other side, and Lutz runs another touchdown in today. That's his second, and the Jumbos lead 34-7 on the connection from Berluti to Lutz.
And everything is clicking for the Jumbos. All the stars have come out today. Berluti, Richardson, Lutz, everybody, they are going off right now, 34-7, and another great completion from Berluti over the middle to his favorite receiver, Phil Lutz. How dynamic he is.
And we talked about it earlier, we talked about it again, but the Jumbos have had success attacking the middle of the field. Phil Lutz, dynamic with the ball in his hands, takes that one to the house for another Jumbo 6. Vaughn Seelick looking to make it 7. Kick is up, and it's good for Vaughn Seelick. Jumbos lead 35-7 after the score on the connection from Berluti to Lutz. And yeah, Jared, really firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, everything is right in the world in Somerville right now. What a turnaround from last week when it seemed like this Jumbo offense was just paralyzed, unable to attack the middle of the field, find the staples that have been working for them so far this season. Not so this week. A huge morale booster for the Jumbo offense so far. Really feels like they are the offense we thought they were earlier in this season. 7 receptions, 117 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Lutz. 7 receptions, 135 yards, and a touchdown for Richardson. 18 of 24, 282 yards, 3 touchdowns for Berluti, not to mention the 148 yards and 2 touchdowns for Johnson. That is what you call a team effort, and that is something that every player on this offense is going to be proud of coming out of this week. Still a lot of time left to go. 35 points on the board for the Jumbos already.
And Jared, if you take a look at the NESCAC leaderboard for receiving, you'll see Phil Lutz's name at the top, leading by almost 100 yards. He's got 751 on the season, not including this game. Donovan Wood behind him with 654. Jaden Richardson, 6th in the top 10, 485. as Hamilton takes this kick, and they're going to run this out. Jack Racine chasing him down. Leo Gerst, though, running out of bounds at about the Continental 20. Jackson Butler also in the top 20, and Cade Moore, number 20 himself. So this Jumbo receiving unit has been something special, all fueled by the stellar passing of Michael Berluti.
And we'd be remiss not to note that Lutz is chasing the single-season NESCAC receiving yards record. He's slightly off the pace right now at 125 yards per game. He's on pace for 1,126 yards, which is just short of the record of 1,172 yards. But if Lutz can outpace his season average today, he only needs 20 or so more yards to do that, then he might be back on track to maybe break that record by the end of the season. Would be huge for this Tufts program.
Now Banbury back behind center. Throws it over the middle of the field, but brought down by 2. William McCreary, one of them. It was Juilliard and McCreary in there on the tackle. It was Campanella on the catch. And Continental's running some hurry-up offense. Banbury looking downfield, but he's brought down. It's number 45 for the Jumbos, Will Duncanson, the sophomore linebacker.
And everything coming up Tufts right now. Hamilton needs to find a way to respond.
Everything clicking for the Jumbos on both offense and defense. Duncanson, the strong play there. Now Banbury. Gerst to his right for receiver set. Sends Campanella in motion. Banbury drops back, but a lot of pressure. He's going to try to run it himself. He slides down. 2 men dive over him.
And probably a smart decision to slide right there. We've seen him take several big hits on these improvised runs so far today. He slid short of the first down, though, and that will be another 3 and out for Hamilton as the Tufts defense stands strong yet again, the pressure being the difference.
Another punt for Ty Hoy. And a fair catch from Andre Smith, but it bounces out of bounds. They're going to get him for calling that fair catch with the punt going out of bounds. And as we wait for the call, looks like it is going to be against the Jumbos. Last drive for the Tufts that ended in a touchdown, 6 plays for 81 yards. Jumbos have had some really impressive drives in this one. Specifically in the first half, 10 plays for 95 yards, 10 plays for 75 yards, 10 plays for 89 yards, then of course 2 plays for 73 yards. That one, the Jaden Richardson 70-yarder. 6 plays for 81 yards on the last drive. The Jumbos really cooking with gas on offense.
Yeah, it just seems when the play calling is right, you know, and it's accurate, they have so many options on offense, and it's very difficult as a defense to stop them from doing what they want. And whether it be a 2-play drive or a 10-play drive, they're really going to get what they want. And the penalty enforced on the other end, and it will be a first down for Hamilton.
Now Banbury getting a second chance here. Hands it off to Gerst, who gets stopped behind the line. Shooting through that gap was number 43 for Tufts. That's Sam, 45, excuse me, Duncanson once again. That's his second tackle for loss in this one.
The Jumbo defense gets a chance to come out and prove that that 3-and-out wasn't a fluke. They want to do it again after the penalty on the special teams unit, but I have to point out again the special team struggles for the Jumbos. Consistently been a negative for them so far this season.
Duncanson has been something special in these limited snaps thus far. Banbury looking to make things happen for the Continentals. 2nd and 14. The fake handoff to Gerst. Rolls out right. Caught by Horrigan, who's still on his feet. The huge Horrigan just keeps his feet moving. It's going to be 3rd and about 5.
Yeah, and he's one of the best weapons on this Hamilton team. Rare to have a guy at that size in the NESCAC who can move like that and catch the ball out of the backfield, split out wide, and block as well. So he's definitely a weapon for them, and they're going to be looking to him if they want any hope of getting out of this deficit that they're in right now.
Third and 3 for Banbury and the Continentals. Takes the snap. Right to Horrigan once again. They keep feeding him, the tall 6'3", 218-pound senior from Vermont. Picking up the first down and a little bit more. Runs all the way out to midfield. And the Continentals running a hurry-up offense. Banbury with Gerst to his right. Takes the snap, gives it to Gerst. Gerst, nice run. Picks up about 7.
Gerst on the carry for Hamilton.
Brought down by Comerford. Banbury hands it off to Gerst. Gerst picks up another first down, and on the second chance on the illegal substitution from the Jumbos, keeping this drive alive for the Continentals.
And suddenly the Hamilton offense has picked up some steam. They're finding holes on the ground with Gerst.
Banbury takes the snap.
Yeah, it seemed like a broken play from the beginning. Gerst didn't seem to know the play had even started. Maybe a false start. Or too many men on the field. And the offense is moving back. False start it is.
After the false start penalty on Hamilton, it'll be 1st and 15 for the Continentals.
1st and 15 for the Continentals after the false start. Banbury with Gerst behind him. On the Jumbo 41-yard line, they send Campanella in motion. Banbury's going to keep it himself and gets hit pretty hard by a couple of Jumbos. And wow, Matt Banbury has really taken a beating from this Tufts defense.
Yeah, he really has. They're playing physical, and they were not fooled on that one for either the quarterback keeper or the handoff on the option. They hit him hard and fast, setting up 2nd and long.
3:40 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. It's going to be 2nd and 13. Banbury with Gerst behind him. Campanella in motion. Takes the snap. Jumbo send pressure. Banbury's got to throw it away. Had Horrigan in that direction, covered by William McCreary. The Jumbos staying strong there.
Seemed like there were 3 free rushers coming in the backfield on that play. Nothing to do right there for Banbury but throw it away. And a 3rd and long, a situation that they have not had a lot of success in so far today.
Now 3rd and 13 for Banbury and the Continentals. They send one man in motion. Banbury completes it to Kelter, who gets brought down. He's well short. Good tackle there from Victor Garza. And it looks like the Continentals are going to go for it.
Yeah, this is certainly 4-down territory. And they're getting up to the line fast.
4th and 4, deep in Jumbo territory on the Jumbo 30-yard line. Now Banbury looking to pick something up here on 4th down. 11 for 19 this year. Banbury, some pressure, shakes it, still looking downfield. He's got a ways to go. He's brought down by a couple of Jumbos. Jumbos stand strong on 4th down and force the turnover. And out comes the Jumbo offense once again.
Yeah, the Hamilton offensive line has just been ripped apart by the defensive line of the Jumbo so far today on a 4th down where you need to pick up the first, dropping your quarterback and he's immediately met with defenders in his face, backpedaling, tried to make a play and couldn't get it done. That's been consistent so far on that side of the ball. Hamilton had a little success with some of these crossing routes. Couldn't really get anything going vertically, but in the end, the pressure of the Tufts defense was just too much.
Now Berluti out there. 4 receiver set. Andre Smith, the back. Berluti brought down. Good pressure there from the Continentals. It's going to be a sack for them.
That's only their 3rd sack on the season as a defense. Believe it or not, they've not had an easy time getting to the quarterback so far. Berluti is the victim right there of their 3rd sack. Looked like he had Andre Smith on a check down right there. Just missed him. I think he knew that. And now we come out only loss of 1 yard, 2nd and 11.
And interestingly, only 4 sack yards on the season for the Continentals, so it must have been similar plays to that where the quarterback is trying to get back up to the line. Now rush for Andre Smith. He runs left, still on his feet, brought down by 3 different Continentals.
And a quick 3rd down. Jumbos look content to keep the ball on the ground, kill some clock.
1:43 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Berluti taking the signals from the sideline. Cade Moore in motion for the Jumbos. Berluti with Andre Smith to his left. Takes the snap. Fires over the middle of the field for Jaden Richardson, who reels it in at the Jumbo 48-yard line. Jumbos keep the chains moving.
And a great pitch and catch right there from Berluti to Richardson again. A look that they love over the middle of the field. Looked like a zone look from the defense, and you just find that soft spot in the middle and hit him on target, and an easy 1st down.
Berluti takes the snap once again. Looks downfield, has Cade Moore in the seam. Cade Moore the catch, and Cade Moore the run. He'll take that to the house for another Jumbo touchdown. And Michael Berluti connecting on the 52-yarder to Cade Moore. Extends the Jumbo lead 41-7 here in the 3rd quarter at the Ellis Oval.
And now the Jumbos are really just taking out their frustration on this defense, stretching the field on every possession. Seam look from Cade Moore. Berluti lays it right onto him, and another easy touchdown. This defense just cannot keep up with the speed of the Tufts receivers out wide. 42-7, pending that extra point. What an offensive performance for the best team in the NESCAC.
Jumbo's looking to add here on an extra point. Coach Dave Murray is going to talk with the official for a moment. But another touchdown throw. The pass from Michael Berluti is good for 51 yards. Berluti's got 349 passing yards on the day, 4 touchdowns on 20 of 26.
That is quite an impressive day, and looks like he might be back on track to break the single-season record for passing yards in the NESCAC as well.
Game script may hurt him a little bit in this one. Looks like number 15 for the Jumbos, Matt Crowley, is getting loose, as the extra point is good for Vaughn Seelig, so Berluti's day may be done.
But a lot of good vibes on the Tufts sideline right now. They really needed this one.
And a very strong bounce back after a tough tough, heartbreaking defeat against Amherst last week.
Yeah, the execution this week has just really been different. A much higher level from the Tufts offense and defense. They've looked sharp, clearly, and that's led to a massive lead, 42-7, looking for their first 50-piece of the season.
And Patrick Walsh will be back to kick. They'll kick this one off well behind. Looks like there was a jumbo penalty that's going to be enforced on the kickoff.
Yeah, it might have been for excessive celebration. I'm not sure. The flag came flying in pretty quickly after Moore scored, but it didn't take the touchdown off the board.
Walsh's kick is caught by Campanella. Campanella brought down at the Continental 35. That's where the Hamilton team will start this next drive.
The kickoff return of 19 yards. Hamilton will start 1st and 10 on their own 36-yard line.
And in comes Joe Cairns for the Continentals. Joe Cairns, the backup quarterback for this Continental squad. Hands it off to his man, John Young, the first-year running back. And he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage. It seems like the Continentals have gone to their second unit. Ferrara and Guida on the tackle for the Jumbos. Jumbo defense has gone to their second unit as well.
And they're letting the clock run out on the quarter. It looks like won't get a play off. This one all but over. Massive lead for the Jumbos, 42-7.
And crazy that we're saying that going into the fourth quarter. Still 15 minutes left to go. And Joe Cairns trying to get this going.
In the POW-MIA National Chair of Honor Program. The Tufts POW-MIA chair, which is located to the left of the press box, will remain perpetually empty to help people remember that even though our soldiers are not here, there is always space for them. Tufts honors the sacrifices of all who serve, veterans, their families, caregivers, and survivors, and join in our nation's
I almost sat in that chair the other day. I didn't know it was like the perpetually empty chair.
My sister sat in it. Continentals trying to pick this one up and finish with a strong fourth quarter here. Jumbos lead 42-7. 15 minutes left on the clock. It'll be 2nd and 11 when we resume play in just a moment. Joe Cairns, the quarterback in for the Continentals. Looks like Matt Banbury's day may be done. He took quite a beating from this Jumbo squad.
Yeah, he really did. The Jumbos came with pressure all day, seemingly every time he dropped back to pass. And Cairns has experience as a starter, having started for the Continentals last year. We'll see what he can do.
Campanella in motion. Cairns is going to keep it himself and get lit up behind the line of scrimmage. Not sure who the first in there was, but Javier Rios in on the, not Javier Rios, Marcus Pereira in there on the tackle.
Yeah, just not a clean handoff right there, a fake handoff on the option, and he kind of brought himself into the pressure right there. Not what you want to do if you're the quarterback, and continuing the trend of punishing defense from the Jumbos today.
3rd and 13 now for Cairns. John Young to his left. Cairns. Hit as he throws. Was looking for Perez Signini, but it looks like it's going to hit the ground. And they throw a flag. Not sure what this one's going to be for. Might be defensive pass interference based on the location.
Intended for Lucas Perez Signini. There is a flag on the play.
It looks like they are going to get O.J. Armstrong for pass interference, grabbing at his jersey.
And Signini has 272 yards, 3 touchdowns so far this year. He's been their leading receiver. Really haven't seen much of him today, so interesting to see with the quarterback change, maybe a change in outlook at who they're looking for downfield.
And a bit of a gift here for this Continental squad. They pick up the automatic first down.
Interference penalty, it'll be 1st and 10 for Hamilton.
Cairns back. Gerst out of the backfield, looking for him on the wheel route. Defended nicely by the Jumbos.
Yeah, did a great job cutting him off, forcing him to the sideline. Throw was out of bounds anyways.
It'll be 2nd and 10.
Something's got to give for the Hamilton Continentals right here.
And Drew Guida did a nice job in coverage for Tufts. 2nd and 10 now for the Continentals at their own 48-yard line. Looking to get things going here. Cairns with Gerst behind him. A handoff to Gerst. No hole for him. He gets stopped at the line of scrimmage. Brought down by Will Duncanson. That's his 3rd tackle of the day, and Duncanson has really made an impact in his limited snaps so far.
Yeah, a little bit of a breakout game for him today. We've seen him everywhere, all over the field, and particularly flying into the backfield. He's made several impressive tackles, and definitely someone to look out for on this Jumbo's defense.
3rd and 10 for Hamilton.
Joe Cairns trying to make things happen. 3rd and 10 here. Drops back, looks for his man Horrigan. Horrigan making the nice catch over William McCreary, picking up the first down for the Continentals.
And that's the type of dynamic play this offense has been sorely lacking today, but Horrigan continues to show why he's a dangerous receiver as a tight end. Big body goes up there and snags that one, and suddenly Hamilton moving down the field.
Nice throw by Joe Cairns to put it right where Horrigan could catch it, and it's looking like a false start from the Continentals. False start's going to back it up. It's going to be 1st and 15 for the Continentals.
After the false start penalty on Hamilton, it'll be 1st and 15 for the Continentals.
Now Cairns, Gerst next to him in the backfield. He takes the snap. He's going to run it himself, though, out left. Has some blockers. Follows those. Gets hit pretty hard at about the Jumbo 5-yard line, and Joe Cairns brings this one into the red zone for the Continentals.
And a great job by Cairns. The pressure came up the middle, but it completely vacated the left side of the line. That left Cairns a ton of room to run on the left side of the field. No receivers in the area, and he picked up first down on a big chunk of yards, and Hamilton threatening to score for a 2nd time today.
Hamilton now in the red zone. Behind backup quarterback Joe Cairns. Leo Gerst also in the backfield. Cairns hands off to Gerst. Gerst cuts it to the outside, and Leo Gerst is going to get into the end zone for a Continental touchdown, cutting this Jumbo lead once again through the ground.
Yeah, 42 now to 13, pending the extra point. And a strong drive right there for Joe Cairns coming in the game in relief of the starting quarterback. Maybe something that this offense can work on in upcoming weeks. We saw last year, really, it was the opposite. Cairns lost his job towards the end of the season. And now the opposite taking place today. Interesting to see if the Jumbos bring the starters back out on the field with 11 minutes to go. And that extra point is blocked.
And Evan Reed, who has struggled all season with his point after attempts. He was 3 of 10 entering this game, 1 of 1 in this game, but kicking that one right into the line, blocked by the Jumbos, and Hamilton walks away with 6 and only 6 after the touchdown run from Leo Gerst, set up by the run from Joe Cairns. We saw Matt Crowley, number 15, warming up for the Jumbos on the sideline after the Jumbos' previous drive, so we'll see if Crowley is getting set to come in the game for the Jumbos. Berluti has had an excellent one here in the Ellis Oval, 349 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. Jumbos have also burned them on the ground. Tyler Johnson, 22 attempts for 148 yards, 2 touchdowns for him.
Yeah, and the Jumbos' rushing attack did a lot of damage in the first half. In the second half, it's been more on the passing side, but a well-balanced offensive attack for them today. Berluti, 349 yards, puts him back on track to maybe break the single-season record for passing yards, but we're going to need to see more of Phil Lutz. He's only at 117 yards today. He's going to need more than that if he wants that record.
Andre Smith catches the kickoff, running through the middle of the field. He gets brought down at about the Jumbo 18-yard line.
James Lewis on the stop for Hamilton.
We'll see who the Jumbos decide to go with in terms of offensive personnel. And it is Matt Crowley coming out for the Jumbos. Got a whole lot of new receivers here, so bear with me as I'm working through names. Matt Crowley with Andre Smith in the backfield.
Luke Botsford, the junior wide receiver, out wide.
Hand off to Andre Smith. He follows his blocks and picks up about 4.
The freshman tight end, Bowman Rhinesmith, in the game as well.
Now Crowley getting the signals.
Also seeing sophomore wide receiver Ryan Doyle, number 83. So a lot of young faces in the game for the Jumbos so far.
Crowley with Smith in the backfield. Jumbo's 3-receiver set with a tight end. They run it to Smith. Smith runs right. Brought down at about the Jumbo 25. Gain of 2.
And credit to the Hamilton rush defense. Been a lot stronger in the second half than we saw in the first. Some of those wide running lanes have been closed, and not so much success on the ground as we saw with Tyler Johnson in the first half.
A gain of 3. It'll be 3rd and 3 for the Jumbos.
Now Crowley hands off to Andre Smith, trying to pick it up on the ground, and Andre Smith, the shifty back, changes direction, picks up that first down, and gets out of bounds. Really good job by Andre Smith using his vision to flip the field and pick up the first.
Yeah, one of the most impressive runs of the day for the Jumbos, and that's saying something considering what we saw from Tyler Johnson in the first half. What a cutback right there from Andre Smith. We know he's shifty. We've seen it on punt returns and kick returns, his primary responsibility, but right there showing it out of the backfield. And really always a boon to your team in years to come when you're able to showcase some of your young talent, get them on the field for experience, as we're seeing right now, especially at the wide receiver position for the Jumbos. These are guys who are going to contribute in the coming years.
Number 84, Sam Verzoli in the game as well, as Andre Smith takes another run, runs left, gets around 1, but brought down by 2 Continentals there. Good tackle there from number 51, George Johnson, the senior from Summit, New Jersey, and very much one of the leaders of this team. 6 foot tall, 210 pounds, 50 tackles entering this game with 5 tackles for loss. George Johnson trying to stymie this Jumbo second unit. Another new running back in the game for the Jumbos. Crowley Fakes the handoff, looks over the middle of field for Frizzoli, and Frizzoli picks up the first down. Fresh in the game, the sophomore wide receiver picks it up easy.
And
interesting to see offensive line rotations as well. We're seeing some of the Mayava brothers in the game, the triplets. Number 67, Michael Mayava, number 71, Matthew Mayava, also in the game. So a lot of talent being cycled in for the Jumbos right now.
Now Crowley in this Jumbo second unit takes the snap, takes it himself, rushes right and gets brought down. Tough tackle over there on the other side of the field. And Crowley a little slow getting up. Looks like he twisted his ankle underneath him, walking on it pretty gingerly now.
Yeah, that was a rough-looking tackle right there. Brought down extremely awkwardly. And he's going to have to come off the field. That did not look good.
Crowley now getting some help, getting off the field. Yeah, definitely looked like a tough tackle. That left foot caught underneath him, and just brutal luck there from Matt Crowley. Last year we saw him get a shot in one of the games after Trayvon Woodson went down, broke his collarbone, and was done for the year. And this time getting a shot once again and rolls on that ankle. Just abysmal luck for Matt Crowley. Luke Leongas in the game now for the Jumbos, number 4, the sophomore quarterback from Park Ridge, Illinois. Leongas takes the snap, hands it off, up the middle, and a nice strong run from the Jumbos. It was Joey DeLumo on the carry.
Yeah, DeLumo, the sophomore running back from Park Ridge, Illinois. He's 5'9". First action we've really seen from him this year. Same to be said for a lot of guys on the field right now. As I said, really great for this team to be able to showcase this talent in a game like this in the NESCAC regular season.
Seven minutes left in this one. Jumbos lead 42-13 against the Continentals. They've got their third string quarterback in there in Luke Leongas, the sophomore, again from Park Ridge, Illinois.
Gain of 7 on that last play for the Jumbos. It'll set up 3rd and 3 for Tufts.
Jumbos a little bit in a position battle for next year maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
Tyler Johnson being absent, of course. Joey DeLumo and Andre Smith trying to showcase all of their potential.
Don't get too many opportunities throughout the season to see who you really have beyond your top couple guys at each position. So a great opportunity for the Jumbos right here, and they're moving the ball just like they have all day.
Leongas takes a snap, hands it off to DeLumo. DeLumo runs right, puts a nice stiff arm on his man, gets out of bounds right around the first down marker. Looks like he had it.
Yeah, DeLumo running hard right now. Not the biggest of running backs, but strong. Puts his body through the defender and picks up the first down. Looks like by an inch or two, and they're going to give it to him. And again, the Jumbo offense, whether it's the backups, the second stringers, or the third stringers, they are moving the ball.
Leongas now. DeLumo to his left. Hands off to DeLumo, who gets stood up and brought down behind the line. Surprisingly, no flag as he was pummeled into the ground after the whistle. Good tackle there from Aiden Held.
No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Jumbos.
2nd and 10 for Tufts. Again, their second and third units are out there. Leongas, DeLumo. Leongas takes the snap, hands it off to DeLumo. DeLumo rushes right, still on his feet. Really good run there from Joey DeLumo, who picks up the first down and more.
Jalen Callender on the carry for the Jumbos.
Pardon me, that's Jalen Callender, the sophomore wide receiver, 39 and 38, looking eerily similar.
That's a gain of 13 yards and a jumbo first down.
Leongus now takes a snap. Jumbos go back to the ground. Rush for Callender. Callender still on his feet, gets hit hard. One guy on top of him, one guy coming in to hit him again. And Jalen Callender gets punished at the end of that one.
Shane Lavender on the stop for Hamilton. It's a gain of 2, it'll be 2nd and 8 for Tufts.
2nd and 8 for the Jumbos. 4:12 left to go, and that clock is still running. Berluti giving signals from the sideline to third-string quarterback Luke Leongus. Jalen Callender to his right. Leongus takes the snap. His first attempt of the game. One in pursuit. He takes it himself, tries to slide down, didn't look pretty, but picks up a couple. It's going to be 3rd and short here for Tufts.
Ravel on the stop for Hamilton. It's a gain of 3, it'll be 3rd and 5 for the Jumbos.
And the big target from Rancho Santa Fe, California, Chase Mangini, looking like a man among boys at the line for Tufts. Leongus takes the snap, looks for Mangini over the middle, instead gets it to Callender, who gets pummeled into the turf by Cole Ravel.
Yeah, that's a tough hit right there from Ravel. Drove him straight into the dirt. A little bit of anger right there from this defense that's been torn apart by the Jumbos.
4th and 5 now for Tufts. We'll see if they go for it or if they're going to give Seelick a chance. On the Continental 21, it'd be about a 38-yarder for Seelick. Looks like the Jumbos are going to go for it, though, with Leongus, the quarterback. 4th and 5. Play clock running down. About a 10-second difference between the game clock before 2 minutes. Leongus over the middle of the field. Caught by a Jumbo receiver, couldn't see who it was, and it looks like he's going to be short of the end zone. It's number 83 for the Jumbos, Ryan Doyle, the sophomore wide receiver from Durham, Connecticut.
Ryan Doyle.
Really great throw from Leongus to find Doyle over the middle of the field. Joey DeLumo is going to come back in at running back.
That'll set up 1st and goal for the Jumbos. That's
1st and goal on the 1-yard line for the Jumbos. Clock still ticking down, and Luke Leong is doing a really good job with clock management. DeLumo in the game now, the running back. Leongus hands off to him. DeLumo trying to push. Can't quite get there, and might be better for the Jumbos, and a flag after the play. See who this one's going to be on.
There is a flag on the play.
Flag will stop the clock momentarily.
Looks like it might be against Hamilton.
We saw that arm go up in the Continental direction.
It is against Hamilton.
So they'll give the Jumbos half the distance to the goal.
And it will be 1st and goal with 1:28 to go here.
Clock is still ticking down.
After the face-mask penalty on Hamilton, it'll be a new set of downs for the Jumbos. 1st and goal from the 1.
1st and goal on the 1 for Luke Leongus and the Jumbos. Joey DeLumo, the running back, in there. Hands it off to DeLumo, who runs right through the middle. Tried to bounce it back to the outside, but he's short once again. About a 15-second difference between the play clock and the game clock now. No gain on the play. 2nd and goal on the 1 for Tufts. Looked like they'll have time for one more play. We'll see if DeLumo can punch it in. Leongus takes the snap. Hands it off to DeLumo, who runs it to the outside, and a touchdown for Joey DeLumo. looking back at that defender, but Joey DeLumo, the 1-yard rushing touchdown, puts a cherry on the top of this cake for the Jumbos. They lead 48-13.
And now, with the score 48-13, my good friend Sam, it is a big day for you. There has been talk of a curse here at JumboCast, the Sam Brill curse. It has been many, many days, 1,106 days since the Jumbos recorded a victory with you on the call. No longer. How are you feeling right now? 48-13. They've finally done it.
Oh, wow. What a graphic. Unbelievable. I'm feeling pretty good right now. I'm in a fraternity with a lot of these football players and really glad to be able to take this one home and very proud of the overall team effort that they were able to put on display. Flag on the play after Seelig put the extra point up and through. They'll decline the penalty. It's going to be up and good for Tufts.
It's a big day for us here at JumboCast. We waited a long time for this moment, and a fitting victory for our lead play-by-play man. A huge, dominant victory for the Jumbos, and really a great feeling all around.
You know, Jared, I was beginning to think that it was me, but it seems that I've been proven wrong by my brothers out there on the field. They lead 49-13, 30 seconds left to go. And Pat Walsh will be out for what may be the final kickoff of this game.
But a sweet victory for the Jumbos, a sweet victory for JumboCast, and a great day here at the Ellis Oval for this Tufts offense, this Tufts defense, this whole team. We saw what this team can play like when they play to their full potential, when their play calling is on point, when they're focused, everything clicks together, and they have weapons on this team that really surpass the weapons of any other team in the NESCAC. It's all about consistency. We talked last year about the Bates game being a turning point. It seems like maybe this year the Amherst game will be a turning point. The playoffs the NESCAC title may be out of the question, but there's no doubt that this Jumbo team can compete with anybody.
And Walsh's kick goes into the end zone, so Joe Cairns and the Hamilton team will trot back out onto the field for one more. But it's really just been an incredible and outstanding overall performance for the Jumbos. Berluti, 349 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. Luke Leongas getting in there, showing some of his potential. 2 completions on 2 attempts for 20 yards. Matt Crowley unfortunately went down with that ankle injury, but completed his only pass attempt for 11 yards. Tyler Johnson, outstanding performance, 22 attempts for 148 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Joey DeLumo punching one in at the end there. John Young on the carry for the Continentals. They're going to keep their offense moving. Just 15 seconds left. Hamilton looks like they will walk off the field here. And the Jumbos have sealed this victory over the Continentals here at home. They protect the Ellis Oval on an incredible overall team performance and a blowout here at the Oval, a huge bounce back win after that Amherst game last week. The Jumbos are loving it as they shake hands at midfield. We'll be back in a couple of minutes for a post-game interview. And we're here with senior running back Tyler Johnson, one of the stars of this team and this team win today. Tyler, 2 touchdowns on over 100 yards rushing. What did you guys do? What was the game plan coming into today that helped you out?
I mean, the game plan was just to trust my O-line and really just let them do their thing up front, and I'll cut off of them. So, got to trust what they do for blocking-wise, and I compliment them with their work. So just run the ball all the time is what we were saying.
And a much-needed home win after a tough defeat against Amherst. You guys came in here and blew them out 49-13. What really enabled that whole team environment for this big win today?
We just wanted redemption, really, and just to focus on us. And we knew if we executed and just give 100% effort, our coach says A to B, 5 to 6, worry about where you need to be and do the best effort you can for 5 to 6 seconds. And we knew we would take care of that with our effort and execution.
And Tyler, 4-3 going into next week. You guys travel to Colby. That game is still going on, but going into that game, they were 4-2. What's the mentality going into next week?
Doesn't really matter about the opponent. Got to worry about ourselves, and we're going to execute and do all of our effort we can, and whatever the outcome is what we deserve. So.
All right, Tyler, thank you so much, and good luck next week.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm going to go celebrate.
Good work today. Yeah.
For all of us here at JumboCast, thank you so much for joining us today for this 49-13 win. The Jumbos took down the Hamilton Continentals. I'm Sam Brill, and I was on the play-by-play commentary, joined by Jared Cohen on the color commentary. The Jumbos head up to Colby in Waterville, Maine next week. They'll be back here a week after for Senior Day, so join us then for another Tufts football home game.